Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we're going to talk about Notre Dame. Don't forget to stay tuned to the very end for our pounds and inches segment.
All right, so Notre Dame, it's kind of like a card drafting worker placement game. It's set in the 14th century in Paris, Notre Dame. All these different actions you can take. Let me show you what those look like. So here is the board setup for Notre Dame. So basically each player has their own borough, kind of each district in the city of Paris. In this case, we're set up for a 3-player game. So there's 3 sections of the board with a little triangle in the middle. With different player counts, it looks a little differently. But basically, every player has their own section of that city. In Notre Dame, we're going to play a total of 3 ages. And within each one of those ages, there's going to be 3 rounds. So we're going to play a total of 9 rounds throughout the game, and each round we're going to play 2 cards, 2 actions basically. It's kind of a worker placement game. You draft these cards in order to play your actions. So let's take a look at what those actions are and how we're going to get those actions. Our workers are represented by these little cubes here, these little influence markers. So the actions kind of accumulate over time. So if we go to this spot right here, it's going to give us one of our cubes from our supply to work with more. But the second time we go there, we're actually going to get 2 cubes from the supply. And it keeps on building and building. Alright, so next spot here, it actually gets rid of one of the plagues. We call them rats in this game. There's a little rat track over here, the plague track. If it ever goes above 9, you're going to lose some points and lose some of your cubes. So it's kind of a bad thing. So you get to kill one of the rats. Plus it says, if you ever have 2 cubes there, you also are going to get a victory point. The third spot here is kind of a wild card. You're either going to get a cube, or a dollar, or going to kill a rat. And if you have 3 cubes or more there, you get to take 2 of those actions. This spot right here is the hospital. When you go there, you get to kill one of the rats. But also, it's kind of the most efficient way to get rid of the rats because it also prevents rats from coming out. This spot right here is just like the cube generating spot. You place 1 cube there, you get a victory point. You place 2 there, you'll get 2 victory points. The third time you go there, you'll get 3 victory points, etc., etc. And actually, skipping ahead, this one right here, this money spot, does the exact same thing with money. Going backwards, this spot right here moves the carriage. So a little carriage here, this moves around to get these messages. And you get to take those off the board, get those points, and those rewards. The more cubes you have on that spot, the farther your carriage can go. And that's important because even though I'm the red player, and these are all the red messages, I cannot double up on a color of messages until I've acquired one of each color. So I couldn't get, let's say, that red message without getting a green and a purple message first. The next spot is Notre Dame. That's the spot right there in the middle. You can go there, you can donate money to the church and get some points. And also, at the end of the age, there's a chance if you have 3 cubes or more, this one says 8 points. And different player counts as different amounts, but basically, you get a chance to get some points for having more cubes there. The 9th and final action is your trusted friend. He basically can go anywhere on the board and do whatever that action is. He kind of acts like a wild card, basically. So how are you going to choose what actions you're going to take? Basically, you're going to start off the game with this deck of 9 cards. It represents the 9 actions in the game. You're going to take the top 3 cards off of the deck. You're going to choose one of them. Let's say I want this one right here. I pass these 2 to the left. And then I'm going to keep that aside. I'm going to get 2 cards from the person from my right, and I'm going to choose one of those. Send that to the left as well. And then I'm going to get one card from the person to my right again. So now I've got a total of 3 cards. I'm going to choose to play 2 of these. We're going to go around the table playing one at a time, and one of these will get unplayed. Money is relatively hard to come by in this game, and there's only 2 ways to spend it. One is donating it to the church to get victory points. And the next is to hire people, which happens at the end of your turn. So let me show you how that works. Here are some examples of the people that you can hire at the end of each round. It costs $1, 1 coin, but you can only do 1 person per round. At the end of each round, these cards are going to refresh. The 2 brown cards at the far right, there is a total of 6 of them. So we're going to kind of see those each age. We're going to play them, set 2 at a time, 2 at a time, 2 at a time, then shuffle them all up, use them again for the second age. The card on the left here, however, the silver-backed card, there's a whole bunch of those cards, and those are separated out by age. So you have a whole bunch of A cards, B cards, and C cards. Those are only going to be out for that 1 round, and then you're never going to see them again. There are a ton of different effects from these different cards, though. This one basically says, choose one of the slices, one of the action spaces in your borough, in your district, and take that action. This one says, take all the cubes from one burrow and place it in another burrow. This one says, take 2 coins and a victory point. And all the cards, there's just a ton of different actions that you can take, different effects they have. So again, we're going to play through 3 rounds. That's going to be the end of the age, 3 more, and then 3 more. So at the end of the 3rd and final age, we're going to count up our points, and whoever has the most points wins.
The card drafting. I love this card drafting. It's so fun because you need that card, but you also need this card, so you have to pass that card. So maybe you'll get the other card you need, but maybe you won't. And you know that you pass it, you're not going to draw it again, but maybe they're going to draw it and they're going to pass it to you, but maybe, just maybe, they know you won and they won't pass it to you. It's great.
Whoa. All right. So one of the things I like about this game is how the different actions build off of one another.
Yeah.
So when you place a cube on the action spot that lets you get more cubes, you get 1 the first time. You get 2 the second. 3 the third. It's doing the same thing that Architects of the West Kingdom did, like, a couple of years ago, whereas this did it back in 2007. Granted, this was the 10th anniversary edition in 2017, but still, the game itself was from 2007. That's just super novel at the time, and I love that part of this game.
So speaking about this being the 10th anniversary edition, there are a lot more people cards in this.
Yeah.
So that was really fun, and I liked all of those. They're fun because you never know, at least with the A, B, and C cards, you're going to be playing with so many different ones of those throughout multiple plays of it, so you don't see everything in one play. So that is fun, but then with the other cards, you know what's in there, but you don't know how it's coming out. So people cards, or what do they call them? Just persons?
The expansions themselves are called New Persons 1 and New Persons 2.
That's like so original.
Alright, speaking of expansions, this also came with kind of a mini expansion for the Castles of Burgundy. I think it's like a way of like, hey, you have to buy this game in order to get more Castles of Burgundy content. But we love Castles of Burgundy, and we love this game too, so it was nice to get a little extra goodies to play with another game that we love.
Yeah, I do have to say though, like, the color palette is really blah. Like, the amount of description they use is the amount of description I'm going to use. Ugh.
There's a scene in The Office where it's a casual Friday. They can wear whatever they want, and Toby wears just like a whole bunch of khaki, and somebody describes him as an amorphous blob of khaki.
Yes! Oh my god! Yes!
That is the color palette of this game. And also, for a 10th anniversary edition, I would have expected, better colors, first of all, and then thicker cardboard and that kind of stuff. This was, the thinnest cardboard I think I've ever seen in a game. And I know it's not a deluxe edition, per se, but I would at least like to have seen a 10th anniversary edition, like, some amount of upgradedness. Something. Yeah. So that was a little bit of disappointment, but the good news is the gameplay is so strong that it makes up for it. You kind of covered that over in your mind once you're mid-game.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked that the gameplay was good enough to where I wasn't really paying attention to the color palette while I was playing it. And I really liked this game because I had to constantly fight with myself about what I wanted to do and what I needed to do. And those different Bethanies were like having a lot of fun in my brain arguing with each other as I was passing these cards.
Yeah, this is one that we recommend. We love Stefan Feld, and this is no different. It's one of his earlier games, and it is on the lighter side, I would say. Yeah. But it scales really well and really interestingly, all the way up to 5. 5 can go a little on the long side, but it's a really fun game. I love the drafting in this game. Excellent.
Well, don't forget to stay till the very end for our pounds and inches update. Until then, you can always subscribe to us on YouTube under Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. You can follow us on Facebook under Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. You can also chat with us on Twitter under Ryan and Bethany 1. And you can follow us on Instagram under Ryan and Bethany.
All right, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
So while I'm at work, it's easy for me to make better choices, just in general. Oftentimes I go on runs on my lunch hour. I have a whole hour I have to clock out and do the whole thing. And so I build that into my day. I am fortunate enough right now to be able to work a little bit from home. And the days that I work from home, like during that 8-hour time, I get like 2,000 steps. Whereas at work without running, I get in between 6,000 to 8,000, which isn't like a whole lot, but it's a lot more than 2,000. So I'm having a hard time with remaining active while I'm lucky enough to work at home. It's a really weird dynamic that is. And I have to take notes on a lot of things, or else I'd like walk in place, but I can't do that. So it's just a really interesting place to be in right now, to where I'm lucky enough to be home, but it's also making me really lazy. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, keep that in mind. You're in the same boat. Take that extra time.
Doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing that's helping you? Let me know.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you later.
Bye.